Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to our channel peneliti.muda.aceh. Our topic of discussion today is about students' poor performance in the thesis defense examination. In this opportunity, I will show you 4 anecdotal evidence that may hinder students from performing competently in the thesis defense examination. Dear peneliti muda, the issue of some undergraduate students' poor performance in the thesis defense examination, or we call it as TDE, is not a secret among examiners. The academic communities, particularly examiners and lecturers, have raised this issue that many students appear to be good in English conversation, but most of them perform poorly in their TDE. The lecturers discover their students are able to speak competently in English conversation in speaking units through tasks that talk about a specific situation. For example, a conversation happening in a bank or in a restaurant. Students understand the steps in a certain situated conversation. For example, when students visit a bank, they know where to go and who to meet and what to say to withdraw money. Students also know the types of vocabulary used in this context. They are able to undertake this task because they have been informed of the steps in the interaction and the sorts of vocabulary they could use in a bank. This example shows that one type of communicative event happening in a bank has steps that need to be understood by customers. This is similar to the TDE, which is also a communicative event. However, in the TDE, the students are not able to perform competently. This may be due to a lack of understanding of the steps, or what we call by generic structures in the TDE, that they are supposed to know. We assume that it is important for the speakers to understand the steps in a communicative event. Specifically in the TDE, which this research presentation focuses on, students would be able to perform competently if they could understand the TDE genre, which includes generic structures, norms, and also values. Dear peneliti muda Aceh, some researchers in this field, for example, Kylie and Maingwenanyo, report that knowledge about a specific field of research and verbal presentation skills are important in the TDE. Therefore, our research assumes that there are 4 anecdotal evidence that need to be investigated by researchers in this field. Referring to what the researchers say above, our first anecdotal evidence is that the knowledge and verbal presentation skills are taught without sufficient information of the TDE genre that affect students to perform competently in the TDE. Nevertheless, the important TDE genre seems not to be clearly introduced in the 2 defense preparation units, or we call it as TDPUs, that have been provided by public universities in Aceh to prepare the students to be competent in the TDE. In fact, an inadequate understanding of the TDE genre might affect students' confidence in delivering and defending their arguments. In addition, Students may feel threatened by the examiners, who may attempt to overrule them with their authority and expertise. Students' fear when facing the examiners may affect them negatively in their TDE performance. This negative interaction during the TDE event may be decreased by students' educated knowledge of field research and oral presentation competence and understanding of the TDE genre. The insufficient information of the TDE genre in teaching knowledge of research and presentation skills to the students is regarded by this study as mismatch between the teaching materials and the knowledge and skills expected in the TDE. Secondly, lecturers do not have a standardized syllabus in the TDPUs that includes information about the TDE genre that prepares students to be successful in their TDE. In fact, students need to learn how to prepare themselves for the TDE by undertaking these units. Based on my observation and working experiences as a teaching staff member in the English Education Department in one of universities in Aceh, each lecturer has his or her own syllabus to teach in the TDPUs. Therefore, students enrolling in different TDPUs receive different sets of material. For example, in Class A, the students are asked to find an alumni's proposal and present the proposal by discussing the topic of area of research, the methodology, and the result. While in Class B, students are asked to present their own research proposal. The students are expected to discuss and argue an issue concerning the research topic in the form of an English presentation. Basically, the activities in these units are limited to presenting papers and asking and answering questions without any clear explanation about the generic structures and values of the TDE genre. After completing the units, even though the lecturers give pass marks to students, they may fail to give a good presentation performance in their TDE. Therefore, this research hypothesizes that a familiarity with the TDE genre is crucial to the success of the students in the TDE. Thirdly, the ad hoc syllabus is not evaluated with respect to the students' need for delivering and defending their thesis. The lecturers in the TDPUs do not seem to follow up whether the students are able to perform competently in the TDE after taking the unit. The lecturers never fit their syllabus with the ideal nature of the TDE in the classroom. In addition, there are several perceptions in the Indonesian English language educator community that many lecturers do not update their knowledge and skills in relation to improving students' competence in TDEs. Fourthly, grades are often given on a subjective basis. There is no established guideline for the TDE assessment criteria. Each department within the teacher training and education faculty creates its own assessment criteria. Each criterion will be given a score ranging from 1 to 100. However, the examiners do not have an educated understanding of the requirements for each criterion. So, the marks they give are subjectively based. For example, an examiner gives a score of 70 for a presentation without knowing what the candidate should achieve for that score. Also, subjective assessment occurs in which the supervisors of students, who is also an examiner in the TDE, tends to give a higher score than the other examiners because the student has been supervised by him or her for very long time. These 4 pieces of anecdotal evidence have never been investigated properly. Therefore, this research needs to be explored along with other relevant problems that may negatively affect students' performance in the TDE. Dear peneliti muda Aceh, this is the end of our discussion today, and please always stay tuned in this channel. We will keep providing you more important and interesting information with regard to research on thesis defense examination. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you again soon.
What's up, man? Hey, man, welcome back with me again, the one and only Bimo. Tes.